Scanning magazines. I use a Canon LIDE 400 for most of my scanning, although I have recently purchased another large format scanner, which I've only used once so far, so I'm not going to include that in this particular video. I use a program, it's a freeware program called View. It's a graphics viewer that's got lots of other stuff in it. But this is my interface between the scanner and the way that I save the files. Let's see, open this up, select my Twain source. I was using the other one the last time. Alright. Let's see, the first thing I have to do when I go into this, and this is part of View, is to select the file names that I'm going to use for this particular item. This is the Echo magazine of the Southwest, and I'm looking for a date, October 16th, 1997. So I'm going to start off with 1997, and the month will be 10, the date 16, and then I put in what it is, ECHO MAG, and in this case I'm going to use an underscore. Program is set up to give me, it's going to start the counter at 1. Each time I scan a page, it's going to increment the counter by 1, and it's going to use 2 digits. And I've got it set so that if the file already exists, it's going to skip it so I don't overwrite something. Got JPEG set for 75 quality. Okay, now I'll put the magazine in and do a preview. I don't usually talk when I'm doing this, so I may screw up something and have to back up. Alright, there's our magazine. I'm going to select the area that I want to scan. I left out one other little thing. When I'm setting this up, I have to define where I'm going to put it, and I always use the same spot, which is a folder on my computer I call Daily. So let's scan. This is going to be that file name, Echo 01. Now, this magazine doesn't have a whole lot in it that I am interested in. I'm interested in this rodeo stuff. So in this particular case, my next job is to go through the magazine and find any pages that have rodeo related information on them. Okay, here's an article dealing with the Rodeo Association. Now, I'm not particularly concerned about the magazines themselves in my own collection, but with magazines, this is a historic magazine that technically belongs to the archives of the International Gay Rodeo Association, so I take a little bit better care of this. In my case, once I finish scanning it, I'm no longer interested in most of the magazines. But in this case, what I'll do is I'll smooth it out to help cut down on the distortions on the edge. Line it up and scan the next page. I'm scanning the settings on my scanner, I usually scan at 300 dpi, and all of the image adjustment things I turn off. Anything that the scanner software does, let me see, this is continued on page 35, so I need to find page 35. Very short. I guess that's the end of it. Any adjustments that the scanner software does, I don't want, because once the manipulation has been done, you can't really undo it. So I like to scan basically what you might consider raw, without any image adjustments at all. That way, if I need to do an image adjustment, I can go back and do it, but I don't have any undesired image adjustments in there that I can't undo. So turn off all the unsharp masks, D-screens, reduce scratches, fading correction, grain correction, gutter shadow correction, all that sort of stuff, whatever it is that your scanner software has built in. Because all that stuff can be done after the fact. But once it's done, you're stuck. Okay, the best of the best. Alright, here's another rodeo related page. Now with the file numbering system, I always start out with the front cover of the magazine as being 01. Or if it's a particularly large magazine, I'll use 001 if I'm expecting to have more than 100 pages. I find that's a good rule of thumb to use. Okay, rodeo continued on next page. $49.50. Now, if this magazine were strictly, in this case, rodeo related, like a program from the rodeo itself, then everything would get scanned. Or if you're scanning for the purpose of historic documentation. Okay, here's an advertisement for Finals Rodeo, which is not directly related to the rodeo that we're dealing with, but since it's part of the magazine and this is for the historic website, I might as well include this. Okay, that's the end of it on that magazine. Finished with that. Finished with this. Okay, and here are the finished products. That's this is the viewer here has got it shrunk to the page size. This is the actual size of the 300 dpi scan. You can always go down, you can always reduce the size of it, but you can't enlarge it.